Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. I've been pretty busy. But with the Super Bowl this weekend, it's time to go over my Super Bowl predictions. So there are a lot of factors that you can pick to help you kind of determine who's going to win this game. Now, while most of these factors are legitimate, not all of them may have the impact that we think. So what I'm going to do is list 5 reasons why the Rams will win and 5 reasons why the Bengals will win. Then pick what is the most important factor to me in deciding who wins the game. So let's start with the Rams. So they have the more experienced head coach and quarterback. That's a big advantage in the postseason. Um, Now, like maybe in the NBA, experience matters more. In the NFL, as you see, young Joe Burrow is able to make a Super Bowl in the NFL, so anything can happen. But typically, I always prefer and favor experience. Rams also have the better O line, and that's by a lot. It's not even close. So while since his D line's not bad and they can provide pressure and all that, it's just like Rams O line can at least hold their own more so than I feel like a Cincy um, O line can. And then the Rams also have a better D line and better secondary. Now it's not that one's not by a lot. It's not like a huge margin like I just said the O line was, but they're still technically better and basically a better team overall. Fourth, they're at home. You should be able to win your home game. I know there's going to be a lot of Bengals fans there because it's technically supposed to be a neutral game, but the Rams at home, you should win, especially since he's been traveling, for multiple weeks in the postseason. Like this should be a game where you should win. And then, last but not least, Rams um, have not lost to a lot of non-playoff teams like Cincy has. Um, so, so therefore, they're the type of team that usually takes care of business. Now for the Bengals, reason number one, Joe Burrow. Simple as that. The way he's been playing this year, he's just that dude. He's a good, clutch playoff performer and all that. So as long as you have him as your quarterback, you have a chance. Second, extreme confidence. And that goes for the whole team. Because something I noticed about this team is that even when they're down by a lot against Kansas City or they're just settling for field goals and all that, like I just noticed this team has a great confidence about them. Like they think that we didn't get here based off luck or coincidence or bad plays by Tennessee or Kansas City. It's like no, we earned to get here. Um, Next is taking care of the ball. Um, I mean, obviously, since it's had some turnovers in their playoff games, but for the most part, they've been pretty good, and they've won the turnover margin, or at least tied the turnover margin in all their games. Versus the Rams, where Stafford had um, he had an interception last week, and could have been multiple interceptions, and then in the Buccaneers game, the running backs and Cooper Cup, in the center have there's 4 fumbles there basically. So the Rams are if they do turn the ball over and give Cincinnati multiple chances, it's not going to be good. Fourth is the Bengals have a clutch kicker. Now the Rams have a good here as well, and he's pretty clutch himself. But for a rookie, the Bengals kicker is just looks like he's that dude. And then last but not least, Bengals have no pressure. They're playing with house money because they're not supposed to win this game. They're not favored to, and they're lucky to get here. So therefore, they can just play loose and free. So here's my final take. So out of all the reasons that I mentioned, here's the one that sways me toward one direction. So besides quarterback, and you can say coach, what is the most important unit on a football team? You can say O line or D line, but let's just combine and say the big man in the trenches. And since the Bengals O line is such a mismatch against the Rams D line, as we saw with Mahomes and the Bucks last year in the Super Bowl, where Mahomes was playing backup O lineman, and that was just a rough game for Mahomes and the Chiefs in general. So it's hard for me to not watch that and be like, well, then how is this supposed to be different? So I feel like even the Titans D line, was just top line, did their part on that side. It's just they had a bad quarterback. Tannehill was screwed things up, which Stafford's way better than Tannehill. So while I can see the Bengals winning this game because Burrow's coach performing like I mentioned all that, I just feel like that mismatch of the Rams D line, Bengals O line is just gonna be too much to overcome. So I have the Rams winning the Super Bowl. I have them winning by a touchdown, 23-16. So now I want to go over the NFL awards have been announced and all that, and I want to share with you whether or not I agreed with them or not. So let's start off with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Winners, Jamar Chase. Agreed. No disputing there. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Micah Parsons. Agree 100%. Nothing there. And the Rookie of the Year, Jamar Chase. I personally would have chosen Micah Parsons as overall Rookie of the Year, but it could have gone either way. And I know the awards are decided on before the playoffs, but as we see in the playoffs, like, okay, yeah, I guess Jamar Chase can win it. Defensive Player of the Year, T.J. Watt. While there's many options you could have gone here, I'm fine with T.J. Watt pick, especially since he's the only reason why the Steelers even made the playoffs. Offensive Player of the Year, winners Cooper Kupp, and I agree with that. I mean, you could have gone, quarterback like a Tom Brady or Rodgers, but it's just like Cooper Kupp is a difference maker on offense. And he just had like one of those historical years, so I'm fine with that. Best moment of the year, um, Justin Tucker's 66-yard winning field goal against the Detroit Lions. Well, I would have. There's so many good moments in the season to start off, but I would have chosen a moment that had more playoff implications, me personally. But 66-yard field goal is pretty hard, so I'm fine with that. Comeback play of the year, Joe Burrow. Now you could have gone Dak here because he came off a major injury as well this offseason. But since Burrow led the Bengals to a division title in a tougher division than the Cowboys, I agree. Assistant coach of the year, Dan Quinn. I agree that defense goes from worst to top 10 level. That's and especially besides Micah Parsons, a lot of similar players from last year. So that's a pretty good turnaround there. Coach of the year, Mike Vrabel, Tennessee. I agree there. With all the injuries they had and limited play at quarterback Tannehill, they get it the 1 seed, which is crazy to think. You could have gone so many other routes there, and I would have been fine with that. But I'm fine with Mike Vrabel. And then the MVP, Aaron Rodgers. I know it's the regular season award, but I would have chosen Burrow since he was the worst team of him, Brady, and Burrow, and then in a hard division than Rodgers and Brady. But then also, as we've seen in the playoffs, he's been playing good football at the right time to end the season and then the postseason. It's kind of crazy that he didn't make the top 3 of the MVP list, but maybe the media will get it right next year. The All-Star games lineups for the in 2022 NBA All-Star game is announced. LeBron and KD had their selections, and for Team LeBron, he has Steph Curry, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron himself, Giannis, and Nikola Jokic. So actually, that's actually his same starting lineup as last year, except for DeRozan. Because last year I forgot who was the other shooting guard starting. I think it was Luka, but that's actually basically the same starting 5 as last year. And then his bench, he has Luka, and then he has Darius Garland, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, Fred VanVleet, and James Harden, which that's a pretty good bench there. Then for Team Durant, you have John Morant, Trae Young, Jason Tatum, Andrew Wiggins, Joel Embiid. And then on his bench, you have Devin Booker, Karl-Anthony Towns, Zach LaVine, DeJounte Murray, Chris Middleton, LaMelo Ball, and Rudy Gobert. So in my opinion, I feel like, while this could be a close game and all that, I do feel like in the end, I feel like Team LeBron has the edge here. Because I feel like, as we saw last year, if Giannis goes off again, because Giannis, in All-Star games, breakaway dunks, getting the rim is going to be pretty easy because the defense is not going to be as good. But if Giannis can hit 6 threes like he did last year, or even hit 4 or 5, then it's just going to be hard to stop them because you can't leave Jokic open. Obviously, Steph Curry's going to bombs away on a lot of threes, and LeBron's going to do his thing, and then and then Luka, come off the bench, replaces like Dame of last year, basically, where he's going to just knock down a lot of deep threes and baskets, and then you've got first timers like a Darius Garland and Fred VanVleet, where I expect them to perform well. So I just feel like Team LeBron's going, especially it being in Cleveland and all that. And then as far as who got snubbed from an All Star game, I personally feel like on the West, Porzingis was actually playing like an All Star caliber type player this season, under kid, but he's just missed too many games, so I'm fine with that. But basically, the Adam Silver selected DeJounte Murray to be the replacement, for Draymond Green. And personally, for me, my selection would have been Anthony Edwards. One, he's on the better team, so therefore he should be rewarded. And then two, he's, besides Carl Towns, he's like the only reason why Minnesota's even gonna make the play-in tournament at this point. He's that good. And while DeJounte Murray's having a good season, no doubt, it's like, it's easy. If you're the best player on a bad team, it's like, it's kind of like hard to reward you, in my opinion, for that. So I would have gone Anthony Edwards there. And then on the East side, it's like, I don't get why Chris Middleton is an All-Star this year. Now, I can understand why he's been an All-Star in the past, but this year he does not deserve to be an All-Star. In fact, his own teammate Drew Holiday deserves to be an All-Star. And I had them both on fantasy. Drew Holiday gets me way more points than Middleton does. So Holiday, you could make an argument for Holiday there. Now for me, it's like some people would say LaMelo's teammate Miles Bridges should have been an All-Star. He can't go on there. A lot of people thought Jared Allen for Cleveland should have been an All-Star. You can't go on there. And I would have been fine with any other other picks over Chris Middleton. No, I thought that was a surprise there. So that's it for today. In my next podcast coming up, I'm going to go over my takeaways from the NBA trading deadline. I hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend.